Hi, everyone. It's Sarah. Welcome to Unmuzzled, a podcast. We spell that P-A-W-D for a reason. It's all about animals all the time. I have a terrific guest coming up. Before we get there, presenting sponsors. You're up.
Thank you to our presenting sponsors. Canine Cruise is the place to take your pet. They offer dog and cat boarding, dog daycare, pet retail, and mindful day school. Tons of indoor space and a spacious yard. Canine Cruise is your one-stop shop for professional pet care in Chicago. Bark Pouch makes 5 mess-free lickable treat recipes in 2 sizes for a delightful time with your dog. Their grab-and-go pouches make perfect gifts for the dogs on your holiday list. For more, go to barkpouch.com. Kiki's Corner Natural Pet Foods in downtown Winfield, just a block south of CDH Hospital on the railroad tracks. Kiki's has all your food and health aid needs for dogs and cats. Kiki's Corner for a healthy, happy pet.
Thank you, sponsors. I really appreciate it. We have some new sponsors coming up this year. I'm very appreciative. So you guys will see those coming up. Without further ado, it's Kristina from Ruff Haven. Hello. How are you? Oops.
Sorry, there we go. Okay.
There you are. There she is.
Of course.
No, I know. I'm always like muted when I'm not supposed to be, and then it's like, back to corporate America where you're like, unmute.
I know.
But thank you. Actually, a lot of what we're going to talk about today is very serious. But I am a big fan. I know that you reached out to me about a platform that you were looking at that we use. I know that you know Heather from One Tail. So
yes, Heather. Yes.
But I know what you do is crisis sheltering, and I cannot tell you how many times people in this area ask me for this. I mean, we have a lot of good groups here that do it. I think what you do is extraordinary, and it's so necessary. And I can't even imagine since 2020, like how this has evolved. And I know it's evolved a lot. But kind of just take us through exactly what you do and how this all got started.
Yeah, so we happened to start in 2020 as well, but that wasn't intended as a response to the pandemic. We started talking about it in January of 2020, me and 3 other friends. So there's 4 of us that founded Ruff Haven, and we saw the need in the community, prior to the pandemic. I'm a social worker. I was working in criminal justice services. I had clients that needed to go to court, needed to go to treatment, things like that had pets, and they were unsheltered and they wouldn't leave their pets behind, or they would have to go to jail or something like that. And so one of our co-founders owns a dog boarding facility down the street from us. And so we just kind of organically started talking, and I was like, hey, could you help provide some daycare, some boarding for any of these clients that needed to seek some services? So that's kind of how it started. And so then we just, in end of January of 2020, we were like, hey, let's look at this crisis thing. We'll just take in like a few dogs and cats here at a time. And it's now turned into, 65 pets in our care at any given time. And we have a lot of other programs. So, and we now operate out of the boarding facility, which was Dogs All Day. But in July of 2024, so last year, we actually kind of shifted that. Ruff Haven was sort of the nonprofit arm, I guess you could say, of the boarding facility. And now Ruff Haven is the main organization, and we now have the paid boarding and dog daycare and grooming and stuff like that, which helps to provide funding as a revenue stream for.
Wow. I mean,
so
that's brilliant. That's brilliant, because customers can come to you knowing that those funds are going to help other people. I mean, that's amazing. So getting into the program, because I was looking at your website and it's so great because you can literally find everything you want on there.
I hope so.
Yeah, but it is a lot of, there's a lot of things. Like people will ask questions, I'm sure, about, okay, I'm moving, and that's not a thing. This is literally crisis sheltering. So the big one that I get questioned about is domestic violence. The first thing you want to do is get the human safe, but then usually the human is attached because of their pet. And like you just said, like, people are good humans. Like, they don't want to leave their pets stranded because they're in a crisis. So kind of go over, you know, who qualifies and how they apply, because I also looked at the application.
Right. Yeah. So we just have, it's a self-application process. So many organizations, if you don't have like a social service worker or someone in the social services field, we always recommend starting off small with somebody that you have like a relationship with in the community. So because I'm a licensed social worker, we've always just done a self-referral. So then I can really look at the need and ask appropriate questions to make sure that they fit. So one of the things that we say is that we are a true crisis emergency organization for unplanned crises and emergencies. So we're not just like a difficult situation organization or like a sucky situation is kind of what we say. And so if somebody is trying to leave an abusive situation, and actually the statistics show that 50% of people in an abusive relationship will not leave because of their pets. And so we talk about that and what that will look like. And so then they can leave their animals with us while they seek safety for themselves up to from 60 to 90 days. We are actually really fortunate here in Utah. We don't always have the most progressive animal welfare laws, but this is somewhere that we're really progressive, which is many of our domestic violence shelters and our homeless resource centers and shelters are pet friendly. So we've worked a lot since coming onto the scene in a lot of advocacy spaces and really helping them hone in on some of those policies to make them best practice and easy and keep everyone safe and help the community be safe as well. So they just basically fill out an application. It's me and my co-executive director. We are on that phone all the time. And so we will be able to get back to someone within 24 hours, often less, and we can just work with them on getting their pets. So,
which I mean is huge, because when you're in a crisis, you know, the biggest thing you need is like help and communication back, you know, so that's so great that you guys move so quickly. So I know too, beyond the boarding, you also have people that foster these animals. So they're pretty much bringing in the animal into their homes, which is just incredible. I feel like, you know, I know it's tough because I was reading, you know, the dog or cat has to be pet friendly because you're not sure exactly what it. So, but those people are just doing amazing work, the fosters.
100%. Like we call it the foster sitter program because it is kind of a traditional foster and pet sitter hybrid, I guess that we call it. So you know that you're taking in these animals that are going to go back to their owner. We don't give a lot of information to the fosters. We really want to protect people's privacy and not have any sort of awkward, uncomfortable situations. So we give the fosters a little bit of information and say, hey, this may be due to substance use treatment. This is housing insecurity, domestic violence. Here's kind of our estimated time frame. And then we require weekly check-ins with the owners. And so we're getting constant updates that we can give to the fosters. And they are providing life-saving work. And it is a very different kind of fostering, but many of our fosters really, really love it and thrive. They don't have to do adoption events or write bios or any of those things. And they know that they are going back to a family who loves them. So now we have multiple people that love these pets, right? And so for sure, it is, they are heroes and they're helping to keep their families safe and protected and provide lots of nights of safety basically for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so incredible because I feel like I would become really attached and want to know.
I know.
What's happening. Because even though it's temporary, you know, it is, anybody that fosters knows they become part of your family. But that is just work that is awesome. I mean, it's brilliant by you all for sure. Just getting into a little bit of like the tough parts. How hard is it some days to say no? Because I'm sure number one, boarding gets like filled up. I'm sure that you run out of fosters. I'm sure that you constantly have, you know, incoming requests. So how is that one of the hardest things is having to refuse and deny?
For sure. And, I think we kind of follow along the same sort of trajectory as a lot of our human service partners. And so when they're seeing a lot of requests, like for, you know, in the human shelters and the family shelters, we're seeing a lot of first-time homelessness right now. Families that are homeless with children. It's really, really challenging. And so with their increased need, we're then seeing the increased need as well. And I feel like we have certainly seen just kind of unprecedented requests for applications. I think last week or the week before, we got like 30 in 1 week, which is on the high level for us. I mean, we can get 15 to 20 in a week. And so we always prioritize domestic violence. That is going to be our top one that we will make room for no matter what. And then it's kind of like hospitalization, mental health treatment. We tend to have a waiting list for generalized housing situations. And so, but what we do find is a lot of people are able to kind of figure something out very short term. If we can say, look, our waiting list is about 2 weeks long right now. Can you find somebody to keep the pets 2 weeks? Or can we send them a letter or send them a text that says that we will take this animal in? They usually are able to make it work. So, but it is certainly difficult to say no, but that's also, as we know in animal welfare, we don't always have the best boundaries, and that's what keeps us from burning out and being able to do this work at all, is to really dig into those situations that we feel like truly need our services and, fit that criteria. So, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed too that you do pet food and supply donations too, for people that are literally on the verge of surrendering an animal because they can't afford food and they can't afford, simple things that sometimes, and we've seen it here in Chicago with Chris, Chicagoland Rescue.
Yeah, Chris is doing great work. Yep.
Yeah. So like it is literally, it could be the reason that the person can keep the pet, which is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So we didn't start off by doing pet food or pet pantry or anything like that. I think there was a lot of response to COVID. And then when a lot of these organizations kind of went back to, having animals fill up in their shelters and their rescues, that kind of went by the wayside, right? So we've always say that this is what we do really well. We do not do adoptions at all. We do not have an adoption program. Our entire organization is dedicated to supporting pet owners and keeping pets with their families and out of the shelters. So yeah, this is one of our vaccine clinics that we do every quarter. All of our services are completely free. But so we now run the largest pet pantry in the state of Utah. So that picture that you're showing is actually from some legislation that we got passed and related to domestic violence and protective orders and some things like that. But yeah, I mean, we probably are averaging 500 to 600 people requests for food a month.
Wow.
And then multiply that times 2, 3, 6 animals, and we're giving anywhere between 10 and 15,000 pounds of food a month. And it really is, it's become quite a bit larger than we anticipated. It's one of our most utilized programs, but also it is something that, quite frankly, is pretty easy, I guess you could say, in order to keep that human animal bond and those pet families intact. So
yeah, I mean, remarkable when you think about how much you've grown in 4.5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it really says a lot about you kind of meeting the need for your community, which I love. So, I also get asked this a lot. I'm sure you do too, because people always ask me, okay, how do I start a nonprofit? Like, and a lot of people want to do similar to what you do, providing, shelter for somebody that needs it temporarily, providing food, providing vetting. We always get that, obviously, especially.
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of that, right? Yeah, the same thing. You're providing that. Yeah. Right.
So I always ask this to my podcast guests, but what is your best piece of advice for somebody that wants to do this? So I should note, sorry, Kristina is in Salt Lake City. Yes. And I connected to her through email, like I said, but I mean, people need this everywhere, small scale, big scale. But what is your best piece of advice for somebody that wants to start doing this in their community?
Yeah, so we certainly did not reinvent the wheel. I will say that when we started, there was a much smaller pool of kind of crisis organizations to start from. And now there's been, quite a trajectory of a lot of these organizations. So I would say for for starters, to reach out to other organizations that are doing this. And I actually do host a monthly crisis sheltering call. It's national, international. We have some Canadian organizations as well. It's really great. It's once a month. We have like a Google Drive that has a lot of our documents and contracts. Lost our home in Arizona with my mentor organization. If you know Jody Polanski, she's amazing and really helped us get going. And so there's no need to start this, but it is also a unique space in the animal welfare community, and you have to really like people. So that is something that I think that you need to be prepared for. We spend a lot of time doing human case management. We have amazing kennel staff and fosters and things like that. But my co-executive director and I do a lot of daily case management and interaction with humans. And so, we always say that we don't say we hate people and we love animals. We love both ends of the leash. They're very tied. And so you really have to have a lot of that compassion and dedication. We actually had an unfortunate situation today. This does not happen very frequently, but we had a kennel of 4 healers left in our parking lot last night in the middle of the night. It's 15 degrees out here. And fortunately, one of the staff saw them, and so they weren't outside long. And, that is a really hard situation. And of course, as we kind of figured out what had happened and dug in further, we found out that it wasn't what it appeared. These were somebody else's animals, and they did not, and anyway, not a great situation at all, but also like, if we had just been like, these are awful, awful people and everyone involved is a terrible person, we wouldn't have gotten to the outcome that we did, which is providing them some time to find some friends to take these dogs. And so, start a nonprofit, look for other people, know that when you're going to do crisis sheltering or any sort of pet retention, that you're going to be doing a lot of communication with humans.
It's so true, because I think we all think of this as a passion and like, I'm going to be around all these, even me starting a pet care business.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like it, my passion now is like out the door and like dealing with taxes and
business. It's a business.
Yeah. It's a bit. And when you start to run it like a business, it totally changes for the better, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I often say, if I had to go back and if I think I would do it again, I'm not sure, just because of all of the other things, when all I want to do is pay medical bills and help people. But all of the extraneous stuff that goes into running a nonprofit, it's hard. It's hard work. And, I always say doing the paperwork and getting your 501c3, that's a breeze. It costs some money. Yes, it doesn't break your bank, but that's the easy part. Once that's done, then it's what you have to do moving forward, which in the end, I will say is so worth it. We get to help people every day and literally change lives, which how many people can say that they get to be like Oprah every day and say, like, we'll help you. It's great. It's awesome. So I love the work that you do. So people, if you're in Salt Lake City and they want to volunteer to foster, they can go to your website.
Yep, just ruffhaven.org. We have an amazing volunteer coordinator who's also a volunteer. I mean, we're still growing as well, so we have a lot of volunteers. But we provide a lot of support. All of the food, the supplies that you need, that's all covered. We will provide even like very low discount vaccines to your own animals, and so we have like a lot of great incentives and perks as well. And if you find out this isn't the right kind of fostering, we have so many other great organizations here in Utah that we can refer to and be like, hey, here, because we don't really get puppies and kittens really. So if you want puppies and kittens, we will find somewhere for you. But we do really love and appreciate our foster community and our volunteers. There's what keeps us going.
And then for your food pantry, do you need donations for that? Is there a wish list?
Always. Yeah. We have a wish list. We have an Amazon wish list on our website, of course. Monetary is always great. But yes, so we right now dog food is down. It used to be cat food, and then it'll ebb and flow. And so we're always in need of dog food, and we have some items on our wish list as well.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to go through some of these pictures because I'm
yeah,
assuming they're volunteers.
this is Gary and Taz, and they were a long-term. He had some medical issues, knees. Taz was his little old guy that he adopted, and that we actually, as you know, help people with terminal illnesses and their pets pass and give them that comfort. And so that's what happened actually with Taz. We helped him with humane euthanasia. We have a compassionate euthanasia program now. We've always done that, but we've created like an actual medical fund for that, so people don't have to make the decision, to let their pet suffer. So we provide that, and he's since adopted another cute little puppy, and Dominic, that we also support with vaccines and grooming and all the things. So we love Gary.
I love that, and they're like family for life. That's so sweet that you keep up with them. Okay, this is such a cute.
Yeah, this is Robin. So Robin and Tatum. Robin is one of our long-term clients who also had some medical needs, and we took care of her two dogs, Tatum and Peanut. Unfortunately, Peanut passed away very shortly after Robin came home from the hospital. But Robin is one of our most dedicated fosters now. So she'll always tell the story about how she never volunteered anywhere her whole life until she started fostering and volunteering with Ruff Haven. So she loves little dogs. As soon as one leaves, she's like, bring a new one. And, and so it's really great to kind of have that pay it forward sort of program as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's great for you guys. That's such a good story.
Yeah, this is great too. This is Patches and his family. So this is the reunification picture, and she had a baby during the time, and there was some housing needs going on. But his little boy brother over there created like this little booklet, and I don't even know where it is right now, but of all of the things that Patches loved to do, so that we knew. And so it had like pictures of him playing ball and pictures of so that we knew to take care of him because that was his best friend, and and so like that's really important. It's not just an adult, it's also children that are impacted and don't understand like what's happening, right, and worried that they're not going to see their best friend again.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yep. And then Nisa and Nene and Baby Lyrics they're on our website at our front page. These are some of our very original clients. Like 2 days in when we opened, she was living at one of the homeless resource center, pregnant with Lyrics, and basically gave birth. We watched Nene while she was in the hospital. 2 days later, she came and picked up her dog with her new baby and moved into their new apartment. And they're still there. She is doing so great. We vaccinated her. And she's had some situations with some funerals and some things like that we've provided with Nene. So we have just continued to work with this family, and we just adore them.
I love that. I think seeing it makes me teary. Like seeing those people that you've helped, it's so amazing.
Yeah, it's super rewarding. And I always say this, as somebody who's been in other traditional rescue, English Bulldog Rescue, Humane Society, we have a lot of our own animals. We've lost animals to cancer. It's really hard, and it's amazing seeing them find their new families from the shelter and things like that. But there is just really something special about seeing them see their owner again and be with their family. And they always are worried that they're going to forget them. That's the number one question. Are they going to forget me? And sometimes they may not see it. My co-director, Marissa, always says that takes about 5 to 10 seconds for them to sniff and know that that's their people, right? And then when they do, it's just so heartwarming, and we know that that's where they're supposed to be. It's not in the shelter. Yeah.
So sweet. Oh, incredible work. Everybody go support them. Here's the website again, ruffhaven.org. Obviously nonprofit. So all of those donations that you give are tax deductible.
Sure.
And doing amazing work. And I wish that every town, city, big city would have this program, because it is so important for people to be supported during what is probably one of the worst times in their lives, depending on what the situation is. So you're incredible. Thank you for hopping on here.
Sarah, we love you guys, and you guys support the human animal bond as well, and that's what we're all here for.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night. Kristina, everybody from Ruff Haven, go check them out. Like I said, ruffhaven.org. It is a charity. They're amazing. Supporting sponsors, you're up.
Thank you to the following supporting sponsors. Kimberly Kingen Photography. Give the gift of joy this holiday season and memorable moments of furry loved ones with a gift card for Kimberly Kingen Photography. For more details, visit her website at www.kimberlykingen.com. The Canine PT is Chicago's highest rated dog physical therapy clinic, and they are dedicated to enhancing the lives of your four-legged companions as they age or when recovering from an injury. Give the gift of pain relief and extended mobility to your furry friends this holiday season. They offer a discount for rescue dogs. For more information, visit thecaninept.com. Anything is Possible is Chicago's premier dog training company. They offer group classes for every single stage of your dog's life. They have a talented team of behavior specialists to work through any issues that need modification using positive reinforcement.
Thank you, supporting sponsors. Thank you, Kristina. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. I really appreciate it.